Have you ever just woken up in the morning and suddenly have the urge to watch forbidden romance anime? Well, you're in luck because today we'll be serving you the top 10 romance anime where the master falls in love with the servant. So let's seal our master-servant contract and buckle up. Psst, I might be your servant, but don't fall in love with me like these masters I'm about to show you. Start the list from the bottom of the pyramid is Vampire Knight. If you've been to college or university, then you're probably aware that there is a day class and night class. Except for this anime, there's a crazy twist. Cross Academy is a unique school where human students enter class during the day, while the night classes are attended by elite vampires. However, these vampires don't want their existence known to humans. That's where the two guardians/servants come who make sure the vampire's identity is safe. Zero Kiryu, a vampire hunter who has deep hatred towards vampires, is unaliving his family and his childhood friend Yuki, who has zero memory of her past. It's weird. They should have switched names or something. Get it? Zero Kiryu, zero memory. Just stop talking. Anyways, these two are somewhat in a love triangle with Kaname Cross, a pureblood vampire who leads the night class as the class president. Now, this guy's a G. He's like Al Capone type of G. He's that guy. Literally everyone in school respects and fears him, so we get that feeling that he's a bit harsh toward his classmates. Except for Yuki, who has apparently been saved by Kaname during a vampire attack when she was little, and since then they were kinda close. Now, I'm pretty sure you know where this story's going. Kaname develops romantic feelings for his female guardian, but Zero's kinda meddling in too because he also likes Yuki. The love drama between these three is so interesting to watch, but I'm sure none of you would be able to predict how it ends, so go watch it and find out for yourself. Or not, I have no authority over what you do. At number 9, we have Emma, a Victorian romance. Have you ever heard of a Victorian era England? It's time in history where the gap between the upper class and the lower class is massive.
And you know what else is massive?
Like my love for you. The upper class usually owns land and they rule the country while the lower class works for them either as slaves or maids, like this character Emma. Emma's a diligent maid working for a retired governess. One day she comes across a handsome and wealthy man named William Jones, and to her surprise, William got mad in love with her. I'm talking about that love at first sight type of thing. I don't know what's going on in his head, but he definitely finds her super beautiful that he immediately wants to wife her up and bag her home. Though it's not going to be that easy because everyone in his family despises the relationship between the two. That's because they want him to marry someone of equal or higher status than him. Meanwhile, Emma is nowhere near there, and the maids have looked down upon by society. So we get this amazing story of how these two try to navigate their social challenges to make their love bloom. Next up at number 8, we have Otame Yokai Zakuro. In the Meiji era, where spirits, also known as yokai, coexist with humans, it isn't easy to maintain order and harmony when both beings keep having tensions with each other. That's why the government created the Ministry of Spirit Affairs, which is made up of male human soldiers and female yokai to help maintain peace. This sounds like a good idea, but not for Lieutenant Kai Agemaki. While this guy looks absolutely charming and fearless on the outside, he's actually scared of spirits. It's probably not the piss in my pants type of scared, but this guy just fears them. He's paired with a half-spirit named Zakuro, who apparently hates humans that practices Western tradition. Though she has a soft spot for Kai because he's just so hot and good looking, like you, Pookie. Now, Zakuro doesn't have any clue that Kai is afraid of spirits. So what'll happen when she finds out about his deepest, darkest secret? Will she lose interest, or will they somehow work it out as they grow close with each other? Next on the list is how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. The Alfreden kingdom needs a new king, so they summon a random guy from modern-day Japan to take the throne as their new hero king. What they didn't expect is that this guy's an absolute genius in political matters. Kazuya Soma's reign as king has steadily improved the kingdom's economy, governance, and military. Though his hard work probably wouldn't have flourished without his beautiful subordinates, or should I say, harem. Meet Lashisa Elfriden. She's the princess of the kingdom who's intelligent and rebellious. She starts off as Kazuya's assistant, but they quickly fall in love and get married. It doesn't stop there though. Meet Aisha Udgard, a skilled beast woman warrior who initially worked as Kazuya's bodyguard but then fall in love and making her his second wife. It doesn't stop there though, because my man Kazuya keeps falling in love with every girl he sees. And Roroa Amidonia is no exception. She is a really ambitious girl who, in most times, agrees with the realistic views and ideas of Kazuya, which makes him fall head over heels for her in an instant. She eventually agrees to become his third wife, seeing that it could also potentially be beneficial for her kingdom. It doesn't stop there, though. Nah, I'm just kidding. Or not. The next addition to this family is this cute little girl by the name of Tomoe Inui. She used to be super timid and shy, so Kazuya adopted, not married. He adopted her and took her in, where she has constant growth to her character. This anime is definitely good for everyone who's into having multiple wives, but can't even attract a single girl in their lives. Remember, Delulu is the Solulu. Halfway through and in 6th place is the familiar of Zero. Having a really cool name doesn't make you a really cool person. Meet Louis Francois Leblanc de la Verrière. Dear French people, I apologize for the terrible pronunciation. I tried. She is a second-year high school student at the prestigious Tristane Academy. In a world full of magic, Louise is the bottom of the bottom, having been unable to cast magic spells properly. As a result, she's been nicknamed Zero Louise, constantly getting mocked by everyone in her school. However, it all changes when she tries to summon a familiar for the school ritual. While the others summoned magical creatures like salamanders and dragons, Louise pulled a teenage boy from Japan named Saito Hiraga during the summoning. Everyone thought she failed once again, but Saito proves them all wrong. He finds out that he has this unique ability that makes him an expert at any weapon that he touches. For example, he's like Saber when wielding a sword. And he goes full on Rambo with firearms. He devotes his life to protecting Louise as they slowly develop romantic feelings for each other. Hey there, you're 10 out of 10 and we're glad to have you here, Pookie. And I bet she's not pregnant, but you know we always deliver. It's our job to give you the best top list, but how about you make us a top 10 out of 10 channel by gracing us with your top-notchness when you hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for that. Ooh woo. At number 5, we have the Testament of Sister New Devil. Basara Toju looks like your average Joe living an ordinary life, until his father remarries and forces him to live with his new stepsisters. However, the shock doesn't end there. One of the sisters, Mio Naruse, turns out to be a literal demon lord, while Maria Naruse is her succubus servant. As if that wasn't crazy enough, Mio is actually being hunted down by the other demons because they want to take the demon lord's throne. Basara then uncovers his own secret, like Peter Parker confessing that he's Spider-Man. This ordinary Joe is actually part of the hero clan that fights off demons. Being a total simp that he is, he chooses to protect Mio instead. The two then form a master-servant pact that involves various rituals with an itchy twist. So if you're a man of culture like me, go ahead and watch this absolute piece of art. Next up on the list is Kami-sama Kiss. Imagine being a normal high school girl. You have a father. He abandons you. He leaves you all his debt to you. And now you're homeless, with tons of burden on your shoulder. That's what happened to Nanami Momozono. However, she's still kind at heart. So when she sees someone getting attacked by a dog, she immediately comes to the rescue. To her surprise, the man not only thanks her, but also gives her his home, making her not homeless anymore. Turns out the home is actually a shrine, and the man was the land god by the name of Mikage. Now that she owns the shrine, she now becomes the land god, replacing Mikage's role. While that might seem like a huge responsibility, there are two positives that she can take. One is that she's no longer homeless. And two, she meets Leonardo DiCaprio level good-looking fox familiar named Tomoe. Not only that, the two seal their master-servant contract with, you guessed it, a kiss. Just like what it says in the anime title. While Tomoe was initially reluctant in serving her, they slowly grow their bond together through various events and develop romantic feelings towards each other. Honestly, this is too wholesome. I literally have butterflies in my stomach watching this. Next, we have Hayate the Combat Butler. Still within a similar fate as the previous one, Hayate Ayasaki becomes the unluckiest 16-year-old in the world when his family runs away and traps him in a 150 million yen debt.
何度見てもやっぱり1億5680万4000円か。
making him a constant target for the Yakuzas across the country. Desperate, Hayate aims to kidnap someone for ransom, but God is like, "Nuh-uh, I got better plans for you, boy." Instead, he actually encounters real kidnapping and decides to save Nagi Sanzenin, who was being kidnapped at the time. Nagi turns out to be a really wealthy girl, and mistaking Hayate's kindness for love, she falls in love with him and decides to make him her butler. While working as Nagi's butler in her mansion, he meets other characters who are just, if not more beautiful than Nagi. They slowly develop feelings towards him too, creating an inevitable harem Hayate would have never expected. Honestly, that turnaround is actually insane. I bet he'd start listening to Drake's God's Plan on repeat since then. At number 2, we have the Duke of Death and his maid. Being cursed has never been a good experience, especially when the curse forbids you to touch literally anything or anyone or else they die. The Duke, also called Bochan, has had this curse since he was a kid, which forced his family to disown him, making him live remotely in a mansion in the middle of the forest. What's even worse is that he has a really beautiful maid who serves him faithfully and genuinely. And you might be wondering, how does that make it worse? Well, Alice, Duke's maid, flirts with him all the time. At times, she gets so unhinged that you start to question her sanity. I mean, just watch this clip here. Not gonna lie, I'd probably fold under zero pressure. Unless you're a saint with the mind of the monks, I don't know how you can escape that temptation. But genuinely, the promise that is Bochan has to hold himself from touching her despite all her teasing as they find a way to break the curse so he can express his love freely without anything holding him back. A really funny and wholesome anime. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Finally, at the top of this pyramid is Maid-sama. The story revolves around a high school girl by the name of Misaki Ayuazawa. She is the student council president at her school, and she aims to make her school more welcoming for female students. That's why sometimes she gets strict and harsh towards the schoolboys. This reputation she built earns her the nickname of Demon President for her strong, unwavering leadership. That reminds me of a certain somebody. However, outside school, she holds a secret that no one must know. She actually works a part-time job as a maid in a maid cafe. This is because her family's not doing well financially, so she works hard to help them. Honestly, this shouldn't be a secret, as it is a good thing to help your family, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to her. Or maybe it's just me who's broke. Anyways, a classmate known as Takumi finds out about his secret and decides to make a deal with her. He'll keep her secret as long as she agrees to spend time with him. Bro's actually a genius. I'll copy his strats and go to maid cafes nearby just in case my student council president also works at one. On the real though, the two become super close. The guy is actually really nice. He helps out whenever she needs him, which makes her fall in love with him way harder than he did. A really good story with diabetes type 3 romance. I mean, it almost hits 8 score in my anime list, which is pretty rare, so you know it's really good. That's a wrap, weebs. Thank you for sticking around. Tell us in the comments if you agree with this list and which anime should have made the ranks. You made it this far, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tea. See you next time.